Alright, so we've made our initial GET request and we're getting data back from the API. So what we've done is created a loop, and in that loop created a function to get the output that we need. Alright, and then we passed in the actual item from the data. Alright, so we need to go down here and we'll say build output. Okay, and this is going to be function get output, and we're going to pass in the item. Alright, and the first thing I want to do is define all our variables, everything we need. Okay, so the first one being the video ID. So I'm going to set this video ID, and the way we can get this is using item and then dot the part that we need, and the video ID isn't in the snippet, it's in the ID. Okay, remember up here we asked for the snippet and the ID. Okay, so item dot ID dot video ID. Okay, that's going to give us that. Next we want the title, so variable title is going to be equal to item, and now the title is in the snippet part, so we're going to say snippet item snippet title. Alright, and everything else is in the snippet part. So I'm actually just going to copy this. Okay, we need our description. So snippet.description. Alright, we also want the thumb. So thumb is going to be equal to item dot snippet dot thumbnails dot high dot URL. So that's going to give us a high quality thumbnail. Alright, next is going to be the channel title. Okay, channel title is going to be equal to item snippet channel title, and then the date. So video date equals item dot snippet, and this is going to be published at. Okay, that'll give us the date. So we have everything, all our objects, I guess you could call them. So now we want to build our output string. Alright, so we'll create a variable called output. Alright, and we're going to set that equal to. Alright, so we're going to do quite a bit of HTML here, and instead of doing it all in one confusing line that goes across 3 pages, I'm just going to concatenate on each line so that we can actually see the output and read it. Alright, so we'll have an li tag, okay, and then I'm going to concatenate onto the next line just to make it readable. Alright, and we're going to have a div, the class. The class is going to be list left. Okay, so div class list left. Okay, we'll go on the next line, and the plus is what concatenates for us. Alright, so the next is going to be in the image. So image, and we're going to set the src to our thumb variable up here, okay, because this is equal to the location of that thumb image. Alright, now to use this variable inside of here, we need to concatenate. Alright, so we're going to put 2 single quotes and then 2 plus signs, and then put the variable in the middle here, which will be, I'm sorry, thumb. Okay. Image, that looks good. And then we can close this here. Okay. So next line. Next line, we're going to close the div. And then we're going to have another div with a class, and this is going to be list right. Okay, list right. And this is going to be our h3. Okay, so we'll have an h3. Whoops. Okay, and then we're going to have a link, so a class. Actually, you know what? We don't need to do this yet. We don't need to add the fancy box stuff yet. We'll do that later. So the h3, basically, I'm just going to have the title for now. So we're going to concatenate the title variable. Alright, and then under that I want to have some small text. So I'm going to use the small tag. Alright, basically I want it to say by, and then the channel title, and then the date. Okay, so we'll have the text by, and then I'm going to wrap in a span. Let's see, span class equals C title. Okay, so this will be the channel title wrapped in a span. Okay, so right here I'm going to concatenate channel title. Okay, that looks good. And then after the span, we're going to say on, and then the date, we're going to concatenate the date. Video date. Video date, small. Alright, so that's good for that line. Okay, next we're going to have our description. Okay, so that's going to be in a paragraph. So inside this paragraph, we want to concatenate our description. Alright. Okay, so next we want to close this div, the list right div. And then we want to close the li tag. And then finally I want to add a clear fix so that we can clear any floats. Okay, clear fix. Alright, and then we'll end this. Okay, and then we just want to return output. Okay, so you can see we just built all the HTML that's going to be inside of each iteration or each list item. So let's save this and let's see if this works. Let's just see what it does at least. Okay, so it's giving us the video. Actually, wait a second. It's not giving us all the information. If we go to items, then we have snippet, so it's giving us our request. It's just, you know what, let's just no, you see it's giving us the divs. That's correct. The list item, list left has the image, list right just has an h3 tag, so that's confusing me a little bit. Okay, so we have the h3 with title. Oh, we didn't add a plus sign here. Alright, so hopefully that fixes it. And it's not going to look good yet because we haven't added the CSS. Alright, so now you can see it's given us the title, the channel title, the date, the description. Alright, so that's perfect. So now we need to style this result. Alright, so let's go to our style sheet. Alright, and the first thing we'll do is the results itself. So results, actually we don't need to do the actual UL, we'll do the list items. Okay, I'm going to set padding 10 pixels 0 and border bottom is going to be 1 pixel and light gray and dotted. Okay, next we want to make sure we don't have any bullets, so list style none and set overflow to auto. Alright, now let's do the list left and list right. So we have list left. I'm going to float it to the left and let's give it a width of 20%. Okay, so list left is what holds the image. Alright, so now we want the image dot list left image, and we're going to set that to the width of 100%, and the 100% is going to be of the list left. Alright, so it's not going to be 100% of the page, it's going to be 100% of its parent div or its parent class. And we'll do padding 3 pixels and a border solid 1 pixels. Okay, and then we'll do the right. That's where all the text will go for the video. So we'll float it to the right. Alright, and then the width, I'm going to put that to 78%. Okay, so we have the channel title. I just want to change that to a red color, and that's going to be DD 2826, and let's try that. Alright, there we go. So that looks good. So now what we need to do is get our buttons. Alright, so we're going to go back into the JavaScript and go back up to our request, and we want to go right under the each loop. Okay, so the each loop ends here, so we want to go under this and set another variable to buttons, and that's going to equal a function called getButtons, which we'll build, and we're going to pass in our page tokens. Okay, so we have the next page and then the previous page. Previous page I want to put first. Alright, and then under that we just wanted to display the buttons. Alright, so we'll grab the buttons div and we'll say dot append buttons. Okay, so now we need to create get buttons. We'll do that right under get output. Alright, so we want to pass in these Alright, so I'm going to say if there is no previous page token, then I'm going to build the output, so variable btn output is going to be equal to div class button container Alright, I'm going to do the same thing that we did with the results. We're going to concatenate new lines. So button is going to have an ID of next button. Alright, and we'll have a class of paging button, and we got to pass in the data token. Okay, so data token, and we need to pass in this variable, the next page token. Alright, so I'm going to grab this, and we're going to have to concatenate this in here with 2 single quotes and then 2 plus signs. Okay, put that in there. I'm actually going to move this over a little bit. Okay, data token is equal to page. Now we need the data query. Okay, so after this double quote, we need data query, and again we need to concatenate, and we're going to do the Q variable. Alright, and let me just let's go to a new line here. Okay, data query, and let's see, what am I doing next? Now we need an on-click event handler, because this is going to go to a function called next page, which we're going to create. So on click equals next page. Alright, and I think that's it for the attributes of this button. The text, we'll just say next page. Alright. Oh, and we just need our div here. Our closing div tag. Okay, so we have a div with the class of button container, and that's holding our button. Alright, now that's if there's no previous page token. If there is a previous page token, then we want to obviously include the previous button as well. Okay, we don't want just the next. So here we're going to say else. Okay, so basically we're saying if it does include the previous page, then I'm going to copy what we just did, this whole output. Alright, and then we will just want to add in the previous page. Right. I'm going to copy this whole button. Okay, copy that. And let's see, I'll go right here. And paste that in. Alright, and then I'm going to change this to previous. This too. And then on click is going to go to previous page. Okay. Alright, and then we just want to return button output. Okay, so that is going to return it up here. Okay, and it's going to be put here, and then we're going to display it. So let's try that out. Alright, something's wrong here. This isn't even opening. So we obviously have something going on. Unexpected identifier 102. Alright, so this whole concatenating thing is messed up somehow. Let me just put all this on one line. Alright, so let's start here. Okay, that's fine. Let's take this off. Okay, so data query. Hold on, let me go back. We didn't concatenate this Q. This should have a plus sign on each side. And did we do it here? We did the same thing here. Put that there. Alright, let's give that a shot. Reload. Okay, so web design, search, next page. Alright. So we do have a next page piece of text. It's not a link though. Let me just see what it looks like. Next page. Oh, okay, so next page is not defined. We didn't create it yet. And you can see that that quote here, the double quote, is on the wrong side of the button container class. So let me check that out. Okay, right here. This should be here. Same thing right here. Alright, let's see if that was it. Alright, now we have a button. So we need to create the next and previous page functions, and we will do that in the next video.